How's it going, guys? Welcome back here to another tips and tactics video. Today we are talking about hunting fringe winds and how to use them to your advantage to get close to that big buck this fall. All right, guys, like I said, today we are talking about hunting fringe winds. Now, if you don't know what hunting a fringe wind is, it's basically setting up your stand or blind or whatever you're hunting in to where the wind is at the advantage of the deer you are hunting. Now that might sound kind of scary, but basically the wind is blowing in the direction of where you think that deer is going to come from, but it's just on the edge of him to where he can use the wind to his advantage. If there's one thing I've learned over the years hunting big whitetails, it's that big mature deer love to walk with their nose into the wind. They feel safe doing it. They love to enter fields that way, food plots that way. They can smell whatever is out there before they come out of the timber. I've used that to my advantage over the years and been able to take several really awesome mature deer. Actually, I would say probably in the last 6 to 7 years, I would guess that 85+% of the big whitetails that I've killed in that last 5 to 7 years has been hunting fringe winds. I've got hunt stand up here behind me, and the first hunt we're going to talk about, I'm going to discuss a couple different hunts, including the big deer I killed in Kansas last year, and how I used fringe winds to kill that deer. But I want to talk to you guys about an encounter I had first. Now, I basically in my mind could say that I killed this deer because last year I dedicated myself to hunting only with a recurve bow, traditional bow equipment, and I was only confident to about 25, maybe 30 yards in the right conditions. This deer came out about 33 yards, which would have been, a chip shot for a compound or a crossbow or something like that, but it was just outside my range, didn't feel comfortable taking that shot, but I got within normal bow range of this deer the very first time in. So let's jump into hunt stand here and I'll show you guys exactly what I did, how I set this setup up, and how I would have probably been able to take this deer had I been hunting with a compound the very first hunt in. Okay guys, we are in hunt stand here, and as you can see I have a tree stand icon right here and I have a bedding icon here, and this was a big food plot that we had put in. This is kind of the east side of what we call our home farm, but I park right here, kind of come down. This is a real high bank right here, come down the edge of this, slip through a little 2-track right here that's through this little timber gap, and come in, walk right down the edge of the food plot and right into the back door. Now, these deer are bedding in a TSI area that we have right in here. My dad and I came in here the year before, so 2022, and did a bunch of TSI right in here. Basically from just to the left of this icon here to right up in here. And what that created was an awesome bedding area right in the curve of this creek. The creek kind of comes in here and dumps into the river right here. And these deer were bedding in here like crazy. In fact, the night that I hunted there, I think 15+ deer came out of this small area right here, right into the corner of this food plot. I had a muddy camera here facing out into this plot, so I knew these deer were coming out right here in this corner. I have a blind right here for south winds, which, south winds just come right here, hop in there, the deer feed out, feed towards the blind, and it's perfect. But I needed something for a north or northeast wind. I knew that a northwest was not going to work very well for right here because it was going to blow into here. Northwest also wouldn't work, say, if I wanted to set up over in this general area where I've got the mouse cursor here, because deer like to come off the neighbors and cross the river and come up right in here as well. So I needed something for a straight north or northeast, and I found the perfect tree right here where this icon is, and there was a big scrape right out here. Basically, how I set this up is I knew this buck was bedding here. It was a really old, mature 8-pointer, not a high scoring deer, but just a really old deer that I had some history with that I would have been more than happy taking with my traditional bow. And I waited for the perfect wind, watched and monitored that muddy camera. He was coming out here constantly. We had a little cold front and got a northeast wind, which was absolutely perfect for this stand. So basically I slipped in here and my wind was coming right here. So as you can see, that's very, very close to where these deer were bedding, but this deer can get out of his bed and come right here. Walk right through here with his nose directly into the wind. He can stand right in here and stage right inside, smell everything that's out here in this food plot, in this field, so that he feels extremely safe coming out here with that wind directly in his face. But my wind is just barely skirting him here off to the west side of him. And that very first night in, man, the deer started pouring in here. And lo and behold, about 30 minutes left of dark, I actually watched this deer stand up right here out of his bed and walk into the food plot. So let's cut to that hunt here, guys, and I'll show you exactly how it unfolded. All right, guys, so as you saw there, I was so close to being able to take that awesome old buck the very first time in hunting this fringe wind setup. It worked perfectly. Unfortunately, he was just outside my range there for the recurve. But man, like I said, if I had my compound, very first time in, I would have been able to take that awesome deer. But let's jump down to a different farm in Kansas, and I will show you an actual successful hunt that I had on an awesome triple drop tine deer with my traditional equipment, the second hunt in hunting a fringe wind. All right, guys, let's jump into hunt stand here, and I'll show you exactly how this hunt unfolded and how I was able to take this amazing deer with traditional equipment the second time in hunting this deer with a fringe wind. So I'll show you my access. I park right up here on the road, walk right down this little road we have here, slip right through here, and I can pop into either one of these stands depending on the wind. This one here is the one I actually end up taking the deer out of. It's set up perfect for a north-northwest wind, which just kind of blows right here like this. And then we've got this one over here on this side for a south or southeast. I can't really hunt it to a southwest because there is some deer that bed in this general area. As you can see, I've got a bedding icon here, but this buck in particular was bedding kind of in some open CRP areas, which I have them marked. One is right here, the other one is down in here, and this field right here was all corn last year. It was standing corn actually while I was hunting this deer early in the season. Ended up killing this deer in the middle of October. We had a really good cold front moved in. I knew it was going to be a really good opportunity to slip in here, get in this muddy stand, and have a really good opportunity to take this deer on that cold front. He'd been coming in right here to this pond very regularly, and he had a scrape line kind of right here along this area, especially right here under this big tree here. And I was really hoping the deer is going to be bedded right here. It seemed going off the stealth cam pictures that this is where he was a majority of the time, but I knew he was also bedding here. which was very risky and actually ended up bumping the deer the very first time in. He was bedded here, and I hunted this to a northwest wind, and the deer ended up walking right through here. Now, luckily, this is really thick cedars, and he didn't get a lot of my wind, but the very first time I hunted this deer, hunting a fringe wind, guys, like I said, it can be high risk, high reward, but the very first time I hunted him, he did get my wind, but it didn't booger him enough to blow him off the property. But he ended up coming out of this bed, coming here. He got my wind right in here, but luckily I did enough scent control and the cedars kind of blocked my wind. He didn't get a ton of it, and he just kind of bounded off here. He didn't even blow or nothing. I didn't get footage of him that night, but he didn't blow or nothing. He just kind of bounded off here, stood right here on this hill for a while, ended up going down in the timber. About a week later, the cold front moves in, and I'm able to get in this stand again. He ended up coming from where I needed him to come from. So he came through here, come through the corn, come right down here, guys, worked a scrape right here, and ends up walking right in front of me here at about 23 yards, and I was able to take him on his way to the pond. So let's jump to that hunt, guys, and show you how I used this fringe wind once again to my advantage to take this deer. He was able to come down through here, being able to scent check this whole area to come work these scrapes and come get a drink at the pond. And I was able to get an awesome 23-yard shot on an amazing triple drop tine deer with my recurve. Guys, if you can hear me, triple drop standing right over here. He's working scrapes. I don't want to film him because there's too much stuff in the way. I had him right here, but he was too far. I couldn't get a range.
shot triple drop tine with a recurve bow. Oh my God. He's down. He's down. I just killed him. Oh my God. Oh my God, guys. I did it. Praise God in heaven.
All right, guys, my dad just got here. He's behind the camera, and here he is. Just an absolute monarch of a deer. A true Kansas giant. I just am at a loss for words. I truly don't even know. I feel like I just don't even feel like I deserve this, to be honest with you. Traditional equipment made an absolute perfect heart shot. I asked the good Lord to guide my arrow, and he did. Deer only went about 40 yards. I think I am definitely hooked on traditional bow hunting now. Unbelievable. I've been practicing as much as I can, and we did it. We did it tonight and started this journey with traditional bow hunting with an old bow of my grandpa's. He's been gone, I think, 9 years now, and pretty cool. Just a pretty cool story. Unbelievable. God is good. All right, guys, what an awesome hunt there. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Definitely a memory and a hunt that's going to be very hard for me to top. You know, my first year hunting with traditional equipment, and I'm able to take the third largest whitetail that I've ever taken with traditional equipment. I just can't hardly believe it. Definitely feel extremely blessed. The Lord really blessed me that night, and I'm thankful for the experience. But hopefully this episode was educational to you. Hopefully now you understand how to hunt fringe winds and how to use that wind to your advantage. You know, the whitetails think that they have the advantage using the wind, walking into the wind, being able to kind of scent check the area. But if you're just off of where you think that deer is going to come from and your wind is just blowing right beside of him, I'm telling you guys, it's an awesome strategy to use. It can be high risk and high reward. It's not going to work every time, but if you really practice it and learn how to perfect it, I'm telling you guys, it's going to help you be successful in the field. And hopefully you can use it this fall to put a big buck on the ground. Until next time, guys, God bless, and I hope you enjoyed this tips and tactics video. We'll see you in the next one.